A quick smile, wide-eyed and welcoming. The occasional flirtatious touch. It didn't need to be anywhere intimate, just a casual stroke of the back of the hand or forearm, and a pulse of electricity would pass between them. This was usually enough. She felt it too. The promise of excitement, the anticipation of something new, intoxicating, rebellious. Their eyes would follow her around the room for the rest of the evening, pretending not to, watching as she interacted with people and silently hoping she would return and make good on her promise. And it would be different. Of course it would be. Other men didn't possess the same appeal. When she flirted with the others, it meant nothing, and when she came back to them, it was because they had what she needed. Each man thought he was special. He was the one. They were all wrong, of course. The older men were an interesting challenge. Having done a few laps of the track already, they knew the rules of the game far better than the 20-somethings. Not that they were immune. They were easy to draw in, but much harder to convert. They knew better. The risk was greater, for they usually had more to lose than merely a bruising encounter with their pride. But a man's ego can take on its own mischievous character, whispering plausible narratives in otherwise deaf ears. The attention was nice and all, but contrary to popular belief, it wasn't attention she craved. She wasn't mistaking male company for the displaced love of her childhood or whatever pop psychology was thrown at her this time. No, the high came from the feeling of power, the thrill of watching them react to her, male or female, and playing one off against another, without making it too obvious. The physical thrill was fun too, most of the time. But she wasn't looking for that tonight. A stick cracked nearby. She half turned, expecting to see someone approaching. She waited, watching the bushes intently, listening hard against the backdrop of the sea. A cloud passed in front of the moon, causing a shift in the light, offering new shadows to her overactive imagination. Conscious of holding her breath, she absently toyed with the braid tied round her wrist. Satisfied she was alone, she resumed her walk towards the beach. Footsteps. She started and spun. This time a figure stepped from the brush alongside the path. Putting a hand on her chest, she smiled as she took a deep breath. "Oh, it's you." She could hear the relief in her voice. "You startled me. Sorry. I didn't mean to scare you." "That's, what are you doing out here?" "I saw you were alone. I thought you might want some company." She was on edge. The clandestine approach, the casual words, the easy smile. She felt her own smile fading as she looked back to the pub, a beacon of light amid the houses in darkness dotted around nearby. No, I don't," she said hesitantly. This offer wasn't on her terms. For once she felt out of control. "I wanted to be alone for a bit." "Really? Who wants to be alone?" She backed up, trying to put some space between them, registering a change in demeanour. It didn't work. Her instincts asserted themselves, screaming at her internally, and she turned, thinking to run, only to catch her footing and stumble. Putting out a hand to break her fall, she still hit the ground hard. She may feel like she'd sobered up, but clearly her body disagreed. A figure appeared over her as the clouds cleared and they were bathed in silver light. "Here, let me help you." A hand was extended to her, and reluctantly she reached up and took it. Rising to her feet, she dusted herself down. "Thanks, I don't know what happened there." The smell of cigarette smoke was dominant, overpowering that of beer. They were close to one another, closer than she would like. "So, do you want some company?" She shook her head almost imperceptibly. "No, thank you. I'd rather be alone tonight." No one wants to be alone.